Om Sai Ram. Welcome to Living Spiritually. Sai Satcharitra Chapter 41. Topics: Story of the Picture and Stealing the Rags. Story of the Picture. 9 years after the occurrence of the incident depicted in the last chapter, Ali Muhammad met Hemad Pant and related the following story to him. One day, while walking on the streets of Bombay, he bought the picture from a street vendor, framed it, and hung it on a wall in his house at Bandra. As he loved Baba, he prayed before it daily. 3 months before he gave the picture to Hemad Pant, he was suffering from swelling on his leg, for which an operation was performed, and he was recovering in the house of his brother in law, Mr. Noor Muhammad Pir Bhai in Bombay. For 3 months, his house in Bandra was closed and nobody was living there. Only the pictures of the famous Baba Abdul Rahman, Maulana Sahib Muhammad Hussain, Sai Baba, Baba Tajuddin, and other saints were there. The wheel of time did not even spare this. It seemed that the picture also had their ins and out, births and deaths. All the pictures met their fate, but how Sai Baba's picture escaped death nobody had been able to explain. It shows the all pervasiveness, omnipresence, and inscrutable power of Sai. Ali Muhammad had once gotten a small picture of Saint Baba Abdul Rahim and Muhammad Hussain many years ago. He gave it to his brother in law, Noor Muhammad Pirbhai, and it had been lying on Mr. Pirbhai's table for 8 years. Once the latter noticed us, took it to the photographer, got it enlarged, and distributed the copies of the same amongst his relatives and friends, including Ali Muhammad, who hung it up in his Bandra house. Noor Muhammad was a disciple of Saint Abdul Rahman, and when he went to present the picture of his Guru in an open darbar, the Guru got very angry, chased him away, and tried to beat him. He felt very sorry and dejected. He thought that he had lost his money and also incurred his Guru's displeasure and anger. As his Guru did not like image worship, he took the enlarged picture and drowned it at sea. He requested friends and relatives to return their copies, and after getting them all back, had them thrown by fishermen in a sea. At this time, Ali Muhammad was at his brother in law's house. He was told by his brother in law that his suffering would come to an end if he drowned the pictures of the saints and the sea. Hearing this, Ali Muhammad sent his manager to his Bandra house and got all the pictures of the saints thrown into the sea. When Ali Muhammad returned home after 2 months, he was surprised to find Sai Baba's picture on the wall, exactly where he had left it. He did not understand how his manager had taken away all the pictures except the one. He immediately took it off the wall and kept it in his cupboard, fearing that if his brother-in-law saw it, he would do away with it. While he was thinking about how it should be disposed and who would keep it well, Sai Baba providentially suggested that he should see and consult Maulana Ismu Mujawar and abide by his opinion. He met the Maulana and told him everything. After thoughtful consideration, they both decided that the picture should be presented to Anna Sahib, that is Hemad Pant, and that he would protect it well. Then they both went to Hemad Pant and presented the picture in a nick of time. This story shows how Baba knew the past, present, and the future, how he skillfully pulled wires and fulfilled the desires of his devotees. The following story shows the Baba liked people who took real interest in spiritual matters very much. He eliminated all their difficulties and made them happy. Another story: stealing rags and reading the Gyaneshwari. Mr. BVDO Mamaldar of Dhanu wished for a long time to read the Gnaneshwari, the well-known Marathi commentary on the Bhagavad Gita by Gnaneshwar. He read a chapter of the Bhagavad Gita and small portion or some portion of their books daily, But when he tried to read the Gnaneshwari, some distractions prevented him from reading it. He took 3 months of leave and went to Shirdi. He could read any other book in Shirdi, but when he opened the Gnaneshwari, evil or stray thoughts came rushing into his mind and prevented the effort. However hard he tried, he was not able to read even a few lines of the book with ease. So he resolved in his mind that he would not begin reading the book until Baba created love for the book and thereby ordered him to read it. Then, in the month of February 1914, he again went with his family to Shirdi. Their joke asked him whether he read the Graneshwari daily. Dio said that he wanted to read it but was not successful and that he would only begin reading it when Baba ordered him to. Joke then advised him to take a copy of the book and present it to Baba and to start the reading after the book was consecrated and returned by him. Dio then replied that he did not want to resort to this device as Baba knew his desire. Would he not know his desire and satisfy it by giving him a clear order to read? Dio then saw Baba and offered 1 rupee as dakshina. Baba asked for 20 rupees, which Dio gave. At night, he met a man named Balakram and asked him how he had secured Baba's grace. Balakram took him that he would explain everything the next day. After the Aarti, when Dio went to receive Darshana the next day, Baba again asked for 20 rupees as Dakshina, which he paid willingly. As the masjid was crowded, Dio went inside and sat in a corner. Baba asked him to come close and sit with a calm mind, which Dio did. Then, after the noon Aarti was over and after almost everyone had left, Dio again met Balakram and asked him what Baba had told him and how he was taught to meditate. Balakram was just about to reply when Baba sent a devotee to call Dio. When Dio went to Baba, the latter asked him with whom and what he was talking about. He said that he was talking to Balakram and he had heard from Balakram about Baba's fame. Then Baba asked for 25 rupees as dakshina, which Dio gladly gave. Then Baba took him inside and sitting near the post accused him, saying, "You stole my rags." Dio denied all knowledge of the rags, but Baba asked him to search. He searched, but no one found it. Then Baba got angry and said, "There is nobody here. You are the only thief. Despite being so old, you come here to steal?" After this, Baba lost his temper and held and screamed at him. Dio remained silent and watched and thought that he might get a beating too. After about an hour or so, Baba asked him to go to the Vada. He returned to the Vada and told Jog and Balakram all that had happened. Then in the afternoon, Baba sent for Dio and said that his words might have pained the old man, but since he had committed the theft, he could not speak out. Then Baba again asked for 12 rupees. Dio paid it and prostrated himself before Baba. Then Baba said to him, "What are you doing?" "Nothing," replied Dio. Then Baba said, "Read the Gnaneshwari daily. Go and sit in the Vada. Read something regularly every day, and while reading, explain your reading to everyone with love and devotion. I am here, ready to give you the whole gold embroidery shawl. Then why go to others to steal rags? And why should you get into the habit of stealing?" Dio was very pleased to hear Baba's words, for he had asked him to start reading the Gnaneshwari. He thought that he got that he wanted and that he could read the book with ease. Thenceforth, he again prostrated himself before Baba and said that he surrendered himself to Baba and thus should be treated as a child and be helped in his reading. He realized what Baba meant by stealing the rags. What he asked Balakram constituted the rags, and Baba did not like his behavior in this respect. As Baba was ready to answer all those questions, he did not want Dio to ask others and make unnecessary inquiries. Dio thought that Baba did not harass and scold him, but rather taught him that he was ready to fulfill all his desires and that was no use of asking others in vain. Dio took the scolding as a blessing and went home satisfied and content. The matter did not end here. Baba did not stop with issuing an order to read. Within a year, he went to Dio and inquired about his progress. On the 2nd of April 1914, a Thursday morning, Baba gave his vision. Baba appeared and asked him whether he understood the Ganeshwari. No, answered Dio. Baba asked, when are you going to understand? Dio burst into tears and said, unless you shower your grace on me, the reading is mere worry and the understanding is even more difficult. I say this with certainty, Baba then responded. While reading, you make haste, read it before me, in my presence. Dio, what shall I read? Baba said, read Adhyatma, that is spirituality. Dio went to bring the book and then he opened his eyes and was awakened. We leave the readers to imagine what ineffable joy and bliss Dio felt after his vision. End of chapter 41. Om Sai Ram, Om Satchidananda Sadguru, Sainath Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Om Sai Ram, welcome to Living Spiritually. Sai Satcharitra Chapter 42. Topics: Previous indication, averting the death of Ramachandra, Dada Patil and Tatya Kote Patil, charity to Lakshmibai Shinde and the last moment. This chapter basically describes the Baba's death. Preliminary, the stories given in the previous chapter have shown that the light of the Guru's grace destroys the fear of our mundane existence, opens up the path of salvation and turns our misery into happiness. If we always remember the feet of our Sadguru, our troubles come to an end, death loses its sting, and the misery of this mundane existence is obliterated. Therefore, those who are or those who care for their welfare should carefully listen to these stories of Sai Samarth, which will purify their minds. In the beginning of the chapter 42, Hemad Pant dwells on Dr. Pandit's worship and his marking Baba's forehead with a tripundra, that is 3 horizontal lines. But as this has already been described in chapter 11, it has been not considered here. Previous indication, the readers have till now heard the stories of Baba's life. Let them now hear attentively about Baba's passing away. Baba developed a mild fever on 28th of September 1918. The fever lasted for about 3 days, but after the fever subsided, Baba did not eat at all and thereby progressively grew weaker. On the 17th day, Tuesday, the 15th October 1918, Baba left his mortal coil at about 2:30 p.m. White Professor G.G. Narke's letter dated 5th November 1918 to Dada Saheb Karpade, which was published in the Sai Leela magazine. 2 years after this, in 1916, Baba gave an indication of his passing away, but nobody understood it then. It was as follows. On the day of Dasara, Baba went into the wild rage in the evening when people were returning from the Simolanghan, that is, ceremony of crossing the border of the village. He took off his headdress, kafani and langota, tore them up and threw them in the dhuni before him. Fed by this offering, the fire in the dhuni began to burn brighter and Baba shone even brighter. He stood there stark naked and with his eyes burning and shouted, "You fellows, now have a look and decide whether I am a Muslim or a Hindu." Everybody was trembling with fear and none dared to approach Baba. After some time, Bagoji Shinde, the leper devotee, approached him boldly and succeeded in tying a langot, that is the waistband, around his waist and said, "Baba, what is all this? Today is the Simo Langan." Baba, striking the ground with his satka, said, "This is my Simo Langan, crossing the border." Baba's anger did not cool down until about 11 p.m. and people doubted whether the Chavdi procession would ever take place that night. After an hour, Baba resumed his normal condition and, dressing himself as usual, attended the Chavdi procession which was described previously. Through this incident, Baba gave a suggestion that Dasra was the proper time for him to cross the border of life, but no one understood its meaning. Baba also gave another indication, which is follows: averting the death of Ramachandra Dada and Tatya Patil. Sometime after this, Ramachandra Dada became seriously ill and suffered a lot. He tried all kind of remedies but was unable to find relief and was waiting for the last moment. One night, Baba suddenly appeared near his pillow. Dada held his feet and said, "I've lost all hope of life. Please tell me, when will I die?" The merciful Baba said, "Don't be anxious. Your death warrant has been withdrawn and you will soon discover. But I am afraid for Tatya Patil. He will pass away on Vijay Dashami of Shaka 1840, 1918 AD. Do not divulge this to anybody, for he will be terribly frightened." Ramachandra Dada recovered, but he felt anxious about Tatya's life, for he knew that Baba's words was unalterable and that Tatya would breathe his last within 2 years. He only shared the secret with Bala Shimpi, a tailor and a devotee of Baba. Only these two persons, Ramachandra Dada and Bala Shimpi, were anxious about Tatya's life. Ramachandra Dada soon left his bed and was back on his feet. Time passed quickly. The month of Bhadrapada of Shaka 1918 AD was ending and Ashwin was in sight. True to Baba's words, Tatya fell sick and was bedridden and could not come to receive Baba's darshan. Baba was also down with fever. Tatya had full faith in Baba and Baba in the Lord, who was his protector. Tatya's illness went from bad to worse, and he could not move at all. But he always remembered Baba. Baba's condition also began to grow equally bad. The day predicted Vijayadashami was impending, and both Ramachandra and Balashimpi were terribly frightened about Tatya. Their bodies trembled and perspired with fear. They thought that, as predicted by Baba, Tatya's end was near. Vijayadashami dawned, and Tatya's pulse began to slow, and he was expected to pass away shortly. But a curious thing happened. Tatya remained, his death was averted, and Baba passed away instead. It seemed as if there was an exchange. People said that Baba gave up his life for Tatya. Why did he do so? Only Baba knows why, as his ways are inscrutable. It seems, however, that through this incident, Baba gave a hint of his passing away, substituting Tatya's name for his. The next morning, 16th of October, Baba appeared to Das Ganu in his dreams at Pandharpur and said to him, "The masjid collapsed. All the oilmen and grocers of Shirdi teased me a lot, so I am leaving the place. I therefore came to inform you. Please go there quick and cover me with bhakal flowers." Das Ganu also found out about Baba's death from letters from Shirdi, so he came to Shirdi with his disciples and started singing bhajans and kirtans and sang the Lord's name all through the day before Baba's samadhi. He weaved a beautiful garland of flowers studded with Lord Hari's name. He replaced it on Baba's samadhi and gave a feast in Baba's name. Charity to Lakshmi Bai, Dasara or Vijay Dashami is regarded by all Hindus as most auspicious time, and it is befitting that Baba should choose this time to cross the border line. He had been ailing a few days before this but was always conscious internally. Just before the last moment, he sat up without anybody's aid and looked better. People thought that the danger had passed and that he was getting better. He knew that he was to pass away soon, and therefore he wanted to give some money as charity to Lakshmi Bai Shinde. Lakshmi Bai Shinde was a good and well-to-do woman. She worked in the masjid day and night except Bhagat's Malasapati, Tatya and Lakshmi Bai. No one was allowed to step into the masjid at night. Once while Baba was sitting in the masjid with Tatya in the evening, Lakshmi Bai came and bowed to Baba. The latter said to her, "Oh Lakshmi, I am very hungry." Off she said, saying, "Baba, please wait a bit, I shall return immediately with bread." She returned with bread and placed the same before Baba. He took it and gave it to a dog. Lakshmi Bai then asked, "What is this, Baba? I ran in haste, prepared bread with my own hands for you, and you threw it to a dog without eating a morsel of it." "You troubled me unnecessarily." Baba replied, "Why do you grieve for nothing? The appeasement of dog's hunger is the same as mine. The dog has got a soul, and though creatures may be different, the hunger of every creature is the same. Be certain that he who feeds the hungry really serves me with food. Regard this as an axiomatic truth." This was an ordinary incident, but Baba thereby propounded a great spiritual truth and showed its practical application in daily life without hurting anybody's feelings. From this time onward, Lakshmi Bai began to offer him bread and milk daily with love and devotion. Baba accepted it and ate it appreciatively. He took a part of this and sent the remainder with Lakshmi Bai to Radha Krishna Mai, who always released and ate Baba's remnant prasad. This story should not be considered a digression, for it shows how Sai Baba pervaded all creatures and transcended them. He is omnipresent, birthless, deathless, and immortal. Baba remembered Lakshmi Bai's service. How could he forget her? Just before leaving his body, he put his hand in his pocket and gave her 5 rupees and then 4 rupees, in all 9 rupees. This figure 9 is indicative of the 9 types of devotion described in chapter 21. Lakshmi Bai was a well to do woman and thus she did not really need any money, but Baba might have suggested to her and brought prominently to her notice the 9 characteristics of a good disciple mentioned in the 6th verse of chapter 10, Skanda 11 of the Bhagavad, in which first 5 and then 4 characteristics are mentioned. Baba followed the order, first paid 5 rupees and then 4 rupees, in all 9 rupees. Many times 9 rupees had passed through Lakshmi Bai's hand, but Baba's gift of 9 she would always remember. Careful and conscious till the end, Baba also took other precautions in his last moments in order to not be embroiled or entangled in love and affection of his devotees. He ordered them to leave. Kaka Sahib Dikshit, Bapu Sahib Booty, and others were in the masjid anxiously waiting upon Baba, but he asked them to go to the Wada and return after their meals. They could not leave Baba's presence, nor could they disobey him. So, with heavy hearts and heavy feet, they went to the Vada. They knew that Baba's case was very serious and they could not help but think about him. They sat for meals, but their mind were elsewhere. They were with Baba. Before they finished, news came to them that Baba's leaving the mortal coil. Leaving their dishes, they ran to the masjid and found that Baba finally rested on Bhayaji's lap. He had not fallen down on the ground, nor did he lie on his bed, but sitting quietly on his seat and doing charity with his own hands, threw off the mortal coil. Saints embody themselves and come into this world with a definite mission, and after this is fulfilled, they pass away as quietly and easily as they came. End of chapter 42. Om Sai Ram. Om Satchidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Om Sai Ram. Welcome to Living Spiritually. Sai Satcharitra Chapter 43 and 44. Topics: Baba's passing away, preparation, placing Baba in the Samadhi Mandir, breaking of the brick, 72 hours Samadhi, jokes sannyas, and Baba's nectar-like words. Preparation. It is general practice among Hindus that When a man is about to die, specific religious scriptures are read out to him so that his mind is withdrawn from worldly things and is fixed on God. Thus, his future progress is natural and easy. When the king, Parikshit, was cursed by the son of a Brahmin rishi and was about to die a week later, the great sage Shuka expounded to him the famous Bhagavat Puran. This practice is followed even now, and the Gita, Bhagavat, and other sacred books are read out to dying persons. Since Baba was an incarnation of God, he needed no such help. But just to set an example for his people, he followed this practice. When he knew that he was to pass away soon, he ordered a man, Mr. Vase, to read the Rama Vijaya to him. Mr. Vase read the book once that week. Then Baba asked him to read the same book again day and night, and he finished the second reading in 3 days. Thus, 11 days passed. Then he again read it to Baba for 3 days and was exhausted. So Baba let him go and continued to meditate. He abided in himself and was waiting for the last moment. 2 or 3 days before his death, Baba had stopped his morning peregrinations and begging rounds and remained in the masjid. He was conscious till the end and was advising his devotees not to lose heart. He did not let anybody know the exact time of his departure. Kaka Sahib Dikshit and Bapu Sahib Bhuti had been dining daily with him in the masjid. The day, the 15th of October, after the Aarti, he asked them to go to their houses and have lunch. Yet, a few devotees, Lakshmi Bai Shinde, Bagoji Shinde, Bayaji, Lakshman Bala Shimpi, Shama, and Nana Sahib Nimonkar did not leave. Shama was sitting on the steps. After giving 9 rupees to Lakshmi Bai Shinde, Baba said that he did not feel well there in the masjid and that he should be taken on Booty's stone mada where he would be all right. Saying these last words, he leaned on Bayaji's body and breathed his last. Bagoji noticed that his breathing had stopped and he immediately told Nana Sahib Nimonkar, who was sitting on the steps below. Nana Sahib bought some water and poured it on into Baba's mouth. It came out. Then he cried out loudly, "Oh Deva!" Baba appeared to open his eyes for a moment and say, in a low tone, but it soon became evident that Baba had left his body for good. Placing Baba in the Samadhi Mandir. The news of Baba's passing away spread like wildfire in the village of Shirdi, and men, women, and children ran to the masjid and began to mourn his loss in various ways. Some cried out loudly, some wallowed in the streets, and some fell down senseless. Tears ran from their eyes, and everyone was smitten with sorrow. Then the question arose, how were they to dispose of Baba's body? Some Muslims said that the body should be interred in an open space with a tomb built over it. Even Kushal Chand and Amir Shakar shared this opinion, but Ramachandra Patil, the village officer, said to the villagers in a firm and a determined voice, "Your thought is not acceptable to us. Your thought is not acceptable to us. Baba's body should be placed in the Vada." Thus people were divided in their opinion, and discussions regarding this went on for about 36 hours. On Wednesday morning, Baba appeared in Lakshman Mama Joshi's dreams and drawing him by his hand, said, "Get up soon. Bapu Sahib thinks that I'm dead, so he won't come. You do the worship on the morning Aarti." Lakshman Mama was the village astrologer and was Shama's maternal uncle. He was an orthodox Brahmin and worshipped Baba first every morning and then worshipped all the other village deities. He had full faith in Baba. He came that morning with all the puja materials, and despite the protest of the Maulvis, performed the puja and the aarti with all due formalities and then left. Then at noon, Bapu Sahib Jo came with a few others and performed the noon aarti ceremony as usual. Paying due respect to Baba's words, some villagers decided to place his body in the Vada and started digging the central portion there. On Tuesday evening, the sub-inspector came from Rahata. Other people also turned up and they all agreed to the proposal. The next morning, Amir Bhai came from Bombay and the Mamaldar also arrived from Kopargaon. Yet people still seemed divided in their opinion. Some still insisted on interring his body in the open field. The Mamaldar therefore took a oath and found that the proposal to use the Vada secured double the number of votes of the other option. However, he wanted to refer the matter to the collector, and Kaka Sahib Dikshit got himself ready to go to the Ahmednagar. In the meanwhile, through Baba's grace, there was a change in the opinion of the other people, and everyone voted for the proposal to bury Baba in the Wada. On Wednesday evening, Baba's body was taken in procession and brought to the Wada, and it was interred there with due formalities in the central portion reserved for Murlidhar. In fact, Baba became Murlidhar, and the Wada became a temple and a holy shrine, where so many devotees go now to first find rest and peace. All the obsequies were duly performed by Bala Saheb Bhatte and Upasani Maharaj, a great devotee of Baba. The breaking of the brick. A few days before Baba's departure, there was an ominous sign foreboding the event. In the masjid, there was an old brick on which Baba rested his hand. At night, he leaned against it. Baba had used this brick for many years. One day, when Baba was not in the masjid, a boy who was sweeping the floor picked it up and accidentally broke it. When Baba came to know about this, he bemoaned its loss, crying, "It is not the brick but my faith that has been broken into pieces. It was my lifelong companion. With it I always meditated on the self. It was as dear to me as my life. It has left me today." Some may raise a question, why should Baba express such sorrow for an inanimate brick? To this, Hemant Pant replies that saints incarnate in this world with the express mission of saving poor and helpless people. And when they embody themselves and interact with these people, they act like them. On the outside, they laugh, play, and cry like everyone else. But inwardly, they are wide awake to their duties and missions. 72 hours Samadhi. 32 years before this, in 1886 AD, Baba made an attempt to cross the borderline of life. On a full moon day, Baba suffered from a severe attack of asthma. To get rid of it, Baba decided to take his prana high up and go into Samadhi. He said to Bhagat Malasapati, "Protect my body for 3 days. If I return, everything will be fine. If I do not, bury my body in that open land and fix 2 flags there as a mark." Saying this, Baba fell down senseless at about 10 p.m. His breathing stopped, and so did his pulse. It seemed as if his prana had left his body. All the villagers came there and wanted to hold an inquest and bury the body in the place pointed to by Baba. But Malasapati prevented this. With Baba's body on his lap, he sat there for 3 days, guarding it. After 3 days passed, Baba showed signs of life at about 3 a.m. He began breathing again, and his abdomen began to move. His eyes opened, and stretching his legs, Baba returned to life again. From this and other accounts, let the readers consider whether Sai Baba was the 3.5 cubits body that he occupied or the self inside it. The body composed of the 5 elements is perishable and transient, but the self within isn't. It is this absolute reality which is immortal and non-transient. The pure consciousness of being, or Brahma, the ruler and the controller of the senses and mind, is Sai. This pervades all things in the universe, and there is no space without it. To fulfill this mission, he assumed the body, and after it was fulfilled, he threw away the body, the finite existence, and resumed his infinite existence. Sai always lives as do the previous incarnations of God. His passing away is only an outward aspect, but in reality he pervades all animate and inanimate things and is their inner controller and ruler. This can be and is even now experienced by many who surrender themselves completely to him and worship him with wholehearted devotion. Though it is not possible for us to see Baba's form now, if we go to Shirdi, we shall find his beautiful lifelike portrait adorning the Samadhi Mandir. This was painted by Shamrao Jaikar, a famous artist and well-known devotee of Baba. To an imaginative and devout viewer, this portrait can even today provide the satisfaction of receiving Baba's darshan. Though Baba has no physical body now, he lives everywhere and will affect the welfare of his devotees. Saints like Baba never die, although they look like men, they are in fact God. Bapu Sahib jokes Sannyas. Hemat Pant closes this chapter with the account of jokes Sannyas. Sakaram Hari alias Bapu Sahib Jog was an uncle of the famous Varkari Vishnu Bhuva Jog of Pune. After his retirement from government service in 1909, he came and lived in Shirdi with his wife. He had no children. Both husband and wife loved Baba and spent all their time worshipping and serving Baba. After Megha's death, Bapu Sahib performed the daily Aarti ceremony in the masjid and Chavdi till Baba's Mahasamadhi. He was also entrusted with the work of reading and explaining the Gnaneshwari and Ekanti Bhagavat to the audience in Sateswada. After serving for many years, Jog asked Baba, I have served you for so long, yet my mind is not calm and composed. How is that my contact with the saint has not improved me? When will you bless me? Hearing Jog's prayer, Baba replied, in due course, your bad action will be destroyed, your merits and demerits will be reduced to ashes, and I shall consider you blessed. Then you will renounce all attachments and conquer lust and palate, and thereby getting rid of all impediments, you will serve God wholeheartedly and resort to the begging bowl. After some time, Baba's words came true. His wife passed away, and as he had no other attachments, he became free and accepted sannyas before his death and realized the goal of his life. Baba's nectar like words. The kind and merciful Sai Baba said the following sweet words many a times. He who loves me dearly always sees me. The whole world is desolate to him without me. He tells no stories but mine. He continuously meditates upon me and always chants my name. I feel indebted to him who surrenders himself completely to me and always remembers me. I shall repay his debt by giving him salvation, that is, self realization. I am dependent on him who thinks and hungers after me and who does not eat anything without first offering it to me. He who thus comes to me becomes one with me. Just as a river merges with the sea, so abandon pride and egoism and surrender yourself to me, who is seated in your heart. Who is this me? Sai Baba explained who this me is. On several occasions, he said, you need not go anywhere in search of me, barring your name and form, there exists in you, as well as in all beings, a sense of being, a consciousness of existence. That is me. Knowing this, you see me inside yourself as well as in all beings. If you practice this, you will realize all pervasiveness and thus attain oneness with me. Hemat Pant therefore bows before the readers and requests humbly and lovingly that they should love and respect all gods, saints, and people. As Baba often said, he who carps and cavils at others pierces me in the heart and injures me. But he who suffers and endures pleases me the most. Baba thus pervades all beings and creatures and besits them on all sides. He likes nothing better than love for all beings. Such nectar and pure ambrosia always flowed from Baba's lips. Hemat Pant therefore concludes that those who lovingly sing of Baba's fame and those who hear the same with devotion both become one with Sai. End of chapter 43 and 44. Om Sai Ram, Om Satchidananda Sadguru, Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Sai Ram. Welcome to Living Spiritually. Sai Satcharitra Chapter 45. Topics: Kaka Sahib's doubt on Anand Rao's vision, and the wooden plank is Baba's bed and not Bhagat's. In the last 3 chapters, we described Baba's passing away. His physical or finite form has undoubtedly disappeared from our view, but the infinite or spiritual form always lives. We have largely spoken about the Leelas which occurred during his lifetime. However, even after he passed away, fresh Leelas have taken place and are even now happening. This clearly shows that Baba is always alive and continues to help us devotees. Those who met Baba when he was alive were indeed very fortunate, but if any of them did not develop a dispassion for the material objects and enjoyments of this world and did not have their minds turned to the Lord, it was truly unfortunate. What was expected then and now is wholehearted devotion to Sai Baba. All our senses, organs, and mind should cooperate in worshipping and serving Baba. It is of no use if one engages some organs in worship and deflects the others. If worship or meditation is to be done, it ought to be done with all our mind and soul. The love that chaste woman bears for her husband is sometimes compared to that which a guru has towards his disciples. Yet, the former falls far short of the latter, which is incomparable. No one comes to our aid in attaining the goal of life. We have to chalk out and traverse the path of self realization ourselves. We have to discriminate between the unreal and real, renounce the material enjoyments of the world, and the next control our senses and mind and aspire for liberation. Instead of developing upon others, we should have full faith in ourselves. When we begin to practice discrimination, we come to know that the world is transient and unreal, and thus our passion for worldly things decrease. Ultimately, we attain complete dispassion or non attachment for worldly objects. Then we realize that the Brahma, which is our Guru, is the sole reality. And as it transcends and besets the universe, we begin to worship it in all creatures. When we thus worship the Brahma or Guru wholeheartedly, we become one with him and attain self realization. In short, always chanting the name of the Guru and meditating on him enables us to see him in all beings and confers eternal bliss on us. The following story will illustrate this. Kaka Sahib's doubt and Anand Rao's vision. Sai Baba had instructed Kaka Sahib Dikshit to read from two works of Sri Ekant, the Bhagavat and the Bhavarta Ramayana every day. Kaka Sahib read this daily while Baba was alive and followed the practice even after Baba's passing away. Once in Kaka Mahajani's house in Bombay, Kaka Sahib was reading the Ekanti Bhagavat in the morning. Madhavrao Deshpande alias Shama and Kaka Mahajani were also there and listened attentively to the portion being read. In this portion, the nine Nathas or Siddhas of the Rishabha family, Kavi Hari, Antariksha, Prabhuddha, Pippalayan, Abirhotra, Drumil, Chamas, and Khara Bhajan expounded the principles of Bhagavat Dharma to King Janak. The latter asked all the nine Nathas very important questions and each of them answered these questions very well. The first Kavi explained that Bhagavat Dharma is Hari, the characteristics of a devotee, Antariksha, what Maya is, Prabuddha, how to overcome Maya, Pippalayan, what Parabrahma is, Avirhotra, what Karma is, Drumil, the incarnation of God and his deeds, Chamas, how a non devotee fares after death, Kharabajan, the different modes of worship of God in different ages. The substance of all the exposition was that in this Kali age, the only means of liberation was remembering the Lord or the Guru's feet. After the reading was over, Kaka Sahib said in a despondent tone to Shama and the others, "How wonderful is this discourse about devotion by the nine Nathas, but at the same time, it is so difficult to put it into practice. The Nathas were perfect, but is it possible for fools like us to attain the devotion as described by them? We will not get it even after several births. How are we to attain salvation?" It seems that there is no hope for us. Shama did not like Kaka Sahib's pessimistic attitude. He said, "It is a pity that one who, by his good luck, got such a guru as Baba should cry out so disparagingly. If one has unwavering faith in Baba, why should one feel restless? The devotion of the Nathas may be strong and wonderful, but is it not ours loving and affectionate? And has not Baba told us authoritatively that remembering and chanting the Lord's and the Guru's name confers salvation? Then what cause is there for fear and anxiety?" Kaka Sahib was not satisfied with Madhav Rao's explanation. He continued to be anxious and restless the whole day, thinking and brooding about how to get the powerful devotions in the Nathas. The next morning, the following miracle took place. A gentleman named Anand Rao Phakde came there in search of Shama. Kaka Sahib was reading the Bhagavat. Mr. Phakde sat near Shama and was whispering something to him. He was describing his dream to Shama. As this whispering interrupted the reading, Kaka Sahib stopped reading and asked Shama what the matter was. The latter said, "Yesterday you expressed your doubts, and now here is the explanation for it." Here Mr. Pakkade's vision, which Baba blessed him with. Baba explained the characteristic of saving devotion and showed the devotion in the form of bowing to or worship of the Guru's feet is sufficient. Everyone was anxious to hear the vision, especially Kaka Sahib. At their suggestion, Mr. Phakade began to relate the vision as follows. "I was standing in the deep sea in the waist deep water. There I saw Sai Baba all of a sudden. He was sitting on a beautiful throne studded with diamonds, with his feet in the water. I was very pleased and satisfied upon seeing Baba. The vision was so realistic that I never thought that it was a dream." Curiously enough, Shama was also standing there. He said to me with great emotion, "Anand Rao followed Baba's feet." I replied, "I wish to do so, but his feet are under water. How can I place my head on them? I am helpless." Hearing this, he said to Baba, "O Deva, please take your feet out from under the water." Then Baba immediately took his feet out. I held them without delay and bowed to them. On seeing this, Baba blessed me, saying, "Go now. You will attain your welfare. There is no cause for fear and anxiety." He also added, "Give a silk bordered dhotar to my Shama. You will profit thereby." In compliance with Baba's orders, Mr. Phakade brought the dhotar and requested Kaka Sahib to hand it over to Shama, but the latter refused to accept it, saying that unless Baba gave a hint or suggestion for acceptance, he would not accept it. Then, after some discussion, Kaka Sahib decided to cast lots. It was Kaka Sahib's invariable practice to cast lots in all dubious matters and to abide by the decision as shown by the piece of paper picked up. In this particular case, two pieces of paper, on one of which was written to accept and on the other to reject. To accept and on other to reject were placed at the feet of Baba's picture, and an infant was asked to pick one of them. The to accept piece was picked up, and the daughter was handed over and accepted by Madhav Rao. In this way, both Anand Rao and Madhav Rao were satisfied, and Kaka Sahib's difficulty was solved. The story exhorts us to respect the words of the other saints, but at the same time asks us to have full faith in our mother, the Guru, and abide by his instruction. For he truly knows our welfare better than any other person. Carve into your heart Baba's words. There are innumerable saints in this world, but our Father, Guru, is the Father, the real Guru. Others might say many good things, but we should never forget our Guru's words. In short, love your Guru wholeheartedly, surrender to him completely, and prostrate yourself before him and reverentially, and then you will see that there is no sea of mundane existence before you to cross, just as there is no darkness before the sun. Another story that the wooden plank is Baba's bed and not Bhagat's. When Baba was younger, he slept on a wooden plank, 4 arms in length and only a span in breadth, with small earthen lamps burning at the 4 corners. Later on, he broke the plank into the pieces and threw it away, as mentioned in the Sai Satcharitra Chapter 10. Once Baba was describing the greatness or importance of this plank to Kaka Sahib. Hearing this, the latter said to Baba, "If you still love the wooden plank, I will hang another one in the masjid for you to sleep on." Baba replied, "I wouldn't want to sleep up there, leaving Mal Sapati down on the ground." Then Kaka Sahib said, "I can get a plank for Mal Sapati too." Baba, "How can he sleep on the plank? It is not easy to sleep on the plank. Only he who can sleep with his eyes wide open can do that. When I go to sleep, I often ask Mal Sapati to sit by my side, place his hand on my heart, and hear the chanting of the Lord's name. I also ask him to wake me up if he finds me falling asleep. He cannot even do this. He himself gets drowsy and begins to nod his head when I feel his hand as heavy as a stone and cry out, 'Oh Bhagat!' He moves and opens his eyes. How can he, who can't sit and sleep well on the ground and whose posture is not steady and who is a slave to sleep high upon on a plank?" On many other occasions, Baba said out of love for his devotees, "Whatever, whether good or bad, is ours, is with us, and what is someone else is with him." End of chapter 45. Om Sai Ram, Om Satchidananda Sadguru, Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai.